I promise you the irony is not lost on me that my let's play of a game whose opening shot talks about how a tiny butterfly flapping its wings today could lead to a devastating hurricane weeks from now was delayed because of a hurricane that barreled through my hometown. But we're back, and I actually had to I actually have already played the third chapter of this game. I recorded a full episode playing through chapter 3 and discovering all the changes they made and all that stuff. And my mic didn't record for any of it. So yeah, that was lost, which kind of sucked because it meant that I had to replay through the entire game in order to get caught up to where I was, because there is no chapter select, or at least in the original game, there was no chapter select until you completed the game once, which might have been an opportunity for the remake to improve upon itself, for it to give you the ability to go back a chapter before beating the whole game, but they didn't. That is not a feature that is in this game, so I had to redo everything to get caught up to where we were. But it ended up actually being for the better, because in replaying through, I discovered some additional things that I would have missed otherwise, and I would like to talk about some of those today. For instance, because I had to replay the whole game, I decided to try to search the prologue area a little more extensively to try to figure out where that death totem was that I missed. And I guess we'll talk a little bit more about that once we are free of this cutscene, because this is a pretty dialogue heavy, pretty important cutscene, so I'll let it speak for itself, and then I'll tell you all about the things I discovered in the prologue.
Will remove their garments at my sole discretion.
Chris, come on, this is serious.
I'm deadly serious.
Oh, shush it. Let's try this.
Yes, please.
Okay, then. Let's see what happens. Ashley, since you're a recent convert, why don't you be our medium for today?
Don't want to be flippant, because to Josh, this is super serious. This is, you know, this way to relax, kick back, well, as far as they're, again, you gotta filter all of your decisions through the perspective of what information the characters have access to. And as far as they're concerned, this is a big deal for him. He wants to take this seriously. He wants to have fun here. So to make a joke out of it and be like, ooh, abracadabra, spooky, not really what we're going for here.
Okay. Is anyone there? Will you reveal yourself to us if you're there?
Wait a minute. Did you do that?
I didn't do anything.
It's moving again.
H?
What's it spelling?
Hold on.
How's this happening? Are you moving it?
I swear it's just moving.
Holy shit.
Help?
How are we supposed to help?
I don't know. What does it mean?
We need to know who it is if we're supposed to help them.
By the way, if I were, I've never done one of these how do you pronounce it? Ouija board? I'm reminded of that video. It's just it's just like a compilation of a bunch of different, I think it's like Yahoo Answers posts or something, of all the different horribly incorrect ways that it's spelled. Like, what is a Ouija board? How do you feel about the Ouija board? How do you make a Ouija board? How do Ojo boards work? Like that kind of thing. I think it's pronounced Ouija board or Ouija board. Those both sound wrong. Whatever. I've never done one of these because if I've never been friends with people who ever wanted to do anything like this, and that's a good thing because I would never want to do it either. And if anyone asks, I would do one of two things. I would either A, laugh and just walk out of the room, or B, I would say, sure, let's do it, and then I would be the one to move the thing in the middle of the board, and then watch them all freak out over it. But because it's this game, we'll take it a little more seriously.
Who are you? Oh, here it goes.
Okay, S.
I.
S. T.
E.
R.
Sister. Sister?
Whose sister? Oh, come on, is this for real? Shut up. Ask it whose sister.
Josh, it's gotta be.
Yeah, okay, well, which sister is it then? Ashley, ask who it is.
Well, even though this is obviously just Josh moving the thing, in fact, you can even kind of see it in his joints. You can see his joints moving more deliberately, whereas Christian and Ashley just kind of limp with their finger on the thing. But if it was real, and if they actually were trying to communicate to us, the only one it could be is Beth, because Hannah, of course, didn't actually die. And that kind of ties into that first death totem that I didn't find in the first episode. But we'll get into that in a little bit.
Who are we speaking to? Beth? Is that you?
As you might be able to deduce, it says that whichever one you pick, because, of course, Josh is the one who's
Fine.
doing all
Are you
this.
sure? Because we can stop.
No.
Dude, it's cool.
I want to hear what it says.
I don't know where to start.
Think about it. If this is actually Beth, I mean, we can find out what happened that night.
Okay. Let me think. Beth, we want to know what happened to you that night. Can you tell us? H A N N.
It's spelling Hannah.
Wait, it's still going.
K-I.
L. Oh my God.
Killed. Guys, what's she talking about?
I don't know if I can keep doing this.
We have to.
Just stay calm. I think it's saying that someone killed Hannah.
I don't know.
I just ask it something else.
Okay. How was Hannah killed?
This music feels too, I mean, me having a problem with the music, I know, what a shocker. It feels too fast-paced for the tone of the scene. Like,
There's proof.
I don't think that really matches the vibe that we're going for here.
Holy shit. Chris.
You know what? No, this is bullshit. This isn't real.
Josh, I don't know what's going on.
Listen, look, I don't know if you think messing with me is somehow going to help me deal with my grief or whatever, but this is not cool.
Josh, no! You wanted to use the spirit board!
Hey, calm down. It's not
I
Ash's
don't need
fault.
this right now, okay? You guys are full of it.
Should we go after him?
Ah, man, I mean, he'll be okay. Let's just give him some time.
I don't blame him. That was crazy. The pointer flew right off the table.
And if you were faking it, you were doing one hell of a job.
I wasn't faking anything. I think we should do what it says. We should look in the library.
Yes?
Alright, so, the thing with the prologue.
Jess?
I went back into the prologue, and I had to go, like, really far out of my way to track that death totem down. It was like, it was outside the... It was still outside the cabin, like, outside in the snow, but it was before the chase sequence when you're trying to track down Hannah in the woods. It's, like, way, way, way before that. It's before...
Yes?
Before you interact with the laptop and you figure out what's going on with Hannah.
You in there?
That's when you find the totem. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a second, because before I get the chance to do that, I discovered this, my last playthrough of this chapter.
Oh, come on.
There's another type of totem that I didn't even realize this somehow, but in the original game there were only 5 kinds of totems. Death totems, which signify that the person who picks up the totem is going to die, or could die in the near future if certain actions are taken. A guidance totem is something that signifies tries to hint you in the direction of a choice you can make to spare someone's life or help someone out. Loss is the same as a death totem, except instead of showing the death of the person who's holding it, it shows the death of somebody else. Danger doesn't necessarily show you death, but it does show you a path of danger. So like right here, it shows you something bad is going on with some moose. So it's like, hey, if you see some moose, be on the lookout. Things might get bad real quick. And then same thing for this, same thing as danger, but in the reverse, where it shows again. It doesn't seem like that would be a fortunate event to occur, like I mentioned last time, but it is. And that was all the original game had, was just these 5 groupings. I somehow missed when I looked at the screen the first time, there's a 6th type of totem now, a hunger totem. And this totem right here is one of those hunger totems. And I'll just, and I guess I should have noticed this earlier, because on the board that we found as Sam in the opening, in the first chapter, which kind of explains to you how the totems work and what they are, and gives you a brief rundown of what each totem does. The hunger totem was listed on there. However...
Seriously? This is not funny.
However, it doesn't actually let you read it. Like, you can see that there is a 6th totem description that was added, but you aren't allowed to read it. It doesn't show up in the sidebar text, and the text on the board is completely scribbled out. But I find this really interesting because, again, this is totally new. This is totally new territory. But what this looks like to me, again, I can't get a good look at that, but what that looks like to me is it looks like Hannah, like this looks like it's being shown from the perspective of Hannah in the immediate aftermath of when she falls down the cave, or falls down into the cave. Again, I can't read what that says, but I'm pretty sure, or at least I'm gonna make a solid guess that that's Beth's grave that she's looking at right there. Because there's some other detail. It's called a hunger totem for a reason. I'm pretty sure what these hunger totems are supposed to be are indicators or like visions of what Hannah was experiencing as she was undergoing her Wendigo transformation. That, I'm pretty sure, is what these are supposed to be. And honestly, that's pretty cool. I don't know how I would feel if I played this game blind for the first time when I saw this, because I don't know how much of a giveaway this is, that's what these are building up to. At the moment, I think it's a pretty cool additional foreshadowing to set up Hannah, what really happened to Hannah. But that's the other thing with these totems that I wanted to call attention to. So the death totem that was back in the prologue was so far out of the way, and the thing is, like, you could say, oh, what, are you complaining that they moved the collectibles? Isn't that a good thing? It gives returning players something to actually search for instead of just memorizing where all they are, or where all the locations are. And yeah, for literally every other totem, I'd say it is a good thing that they moved the totem locations so that it gives us a reason to explore again and actually try to find the totems like we did the first time around. Except for, I think that is a great idea for every totem except the first one, and by proxy, the second one. And the reason why is because these first two totems are supposed to be tutorial totems. Like, when you find this as Beth, it doesn't actually explain to you explicitly like what these things. You don't actually get the totem tutorial until chapter 1 when you play as Sam and you encounter that billboard that explains what they all are. But you don't really need the tutorial to figure out what it is for yourself, because when you find this as Beth, you're like, oh, that's me, that's Beth that just hit a rock. So you can probably intuit that it's trying to foreshadow, like, oh, I could die here pretty soon. And then, as is the course of the story, you inevitably do die a couple minutes later when you fall off the cliff. And then that shows you, because that's what this is meant to be. It's supposed to show you what the death totems are, what they do, and kind of get you in that headspace. And you're supposed to find this. It is really hard to miss this totem in the first game, because it's right there in front of your path it's right there in front of you along the path to reunite with Hannah. You gotta really go out of your way to not find this thing, and that's by design. And it's the same thing with the guidance totem. When you play as Sam, now you know how one totem works, so they've introduced you a little snippet of the totem functionality in this game. Then as Sam, you see a billboard with all the other types of totems, so now it's starting to more properly establish the mechanics of how they work. And then immediately after that, you don't even get a choice in the matter. As soon as if you look at the billboard and then you back away, Sam will automatically look down at the totem to the immediate right of the billboard, pick it up, look into it, and then you'll get your guidance totem. That's part of the design of the game, that it's basically impossible. It's technically possible to miss these two, but you have to really try to miss these two. So like, if you're playing the game a second time, you can go past them and not really care because you're just trying to make different choices and you aren't really concerned with collectibles. But for a first-time player, it feels like you are uncovering these mechanics by yourself in a non-tutorial manner, even though the game has orchestrated events such that they are right in front of you and you can't really miss them. But that's not really the case in this game, because the death totem was in a different continent back in the prologue. You have to, like, I'm not kidding, you have to go, you leave the living room area, go to a different hall, leave the lodge entirely, and then go all the way back to the end of the fence that's surrounding the house to pick up this totem. This, we had to go off the beaten path into a different section way away from where the cable car was. And again, change all the other totems. Totally on board with that. And I really actually do genuinely like the idea. If I'm correct in what the hunger totems are supposed to be, which I'm pretty confident that I am, then I think that's another fantastic addition. I think that does add something of substance to the game. But you should not touch the first two totems. That's like a fundamental aspect of the game's design, that they are placed where they are. But I digress. That was just one of the things that I noticed. And I also, while I was exploring the prologue area, I also found something else
I totally promise I
that I guess I'll tell you about after Jessica jump scares us right here.
No.
Oh, one more thing. This was driving me up a goddamn wall when I first recorded this episode. Watch Jessica's braids as we play through this chapter. Her hair is broken. Like, it's actually broken. I don't know what they screwed up when they were modeling. Jess, I think, might be the biggest victim of this game's artistic direction failings. And just technical failings, I guess. Her braids keep glitching back and forth across her shoulders the entire time. I don't know what is causing it. I don't know why they had the hardest time rendering her hair more so than anyone else's, but it is glaring. Like, it does not, you do not need to put a microscope up to this game to see how badly her hair is struggling to keep up.
So good.
No.
Wait, you have to see this.
I'm not seeing it.
No, Mike.
No.
Like right there, and there, again, twice in less than like a third time right there. So, alright, less than 5, it did it again! Less than 5 seconds, and her hair just does, it's like, it does not know how to react to just, like, flipping her head all over the place.
I'm gonna see this thing. Oh, where's
It's
the
insane.
Sit here?
No.
It's not funny. It's not funny.
But you look so cute when you're scared.
And I reiterate, this is not like
I didn't know
some
you had
super
cute
big
little
secret
baby legs
that you have to go out of your way to find. It's like, it's blatantly, it's right there in your face. There's no, you can't hide it. You can't escape
My
it.
pants are still on.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Again!
Looks like you have to try harder.
A challenge, eh?
Is he gonna do it again? Oh, she left the screen before her hair got the chance to freak out again. I'll call that out a couple more times if it's like especially egregious. But I think for the most part, I'll just let you experience it. I'll just let you see it for yourself. I think I will just let you witness the hair that can't stay still, or that I guess that just can't react dynamically to what's going on.
Well. Look at this fun little lovebird carving. An M and an E. Any idea what that could stand for?
Ah, could be any, Elizabeth and Myron.
Or maybe Michael and Emily? Relax. I just didn't realize you were so sappy.
Get it?
Unintended.
Because trees. Yeah.
Hey, I may look like a tough and rugged, manly man on the exterior, but deep down, I'm in touch with my feelings. I'm not afraid to show a little affection now and again.
Oh yeah? You gonna show me some affection later?
Girl.
It's like, I think it looks like it's every time the camera changes.
Wink.
Let's go, Casanova.
If the camera changes while she's in front of it and she's facing it, her hair just has a conniption. It does not know, it legitimately does not know what to do in the face of the camera, I don't know, moving. It just, error, does not compute. Anyway, totem. Let's do this again. Guidance totem. That'll come in handy right at the end of the game. Alright. So, the other thing that I found in the first chapter, or in the prologue, I mean, was a camera. Like, if you explore the area behind the chimney, I think, there's a camera that you can pick up that has a bunch of pictures on it. What is this?
Cool.
It is Josh's baseball. I didn't remember that being there in the original game. Anyway, there's a camera you can look at with a bunch of pictures on it, and it's just, there's nothing special. It's literally just pictures of all the characters, and I think it's like it ties into what the developers said about the opening prologue. They're like, we're gonna add some additional emotional context to the prologue, and it's like, oh, so you added a camera that has pictures on it that shows that these people are friends? Yeah, thanks. I think I kind of already came to that conclusion myself. Thanks, though. I'm glad you gave me a camera and you showed me all these photographs of these friends being friends. Otherwise, I might never have been able to tell.
The hell is that?
Was it someone screaming?
I don't know. It just seemed kind of
Probably
superfluous. I didn't really. I don't think that justifies. Like, that's the thing. So like, I do like the changes of them removing the previously on segment and the changes of them adding the hunger totems. Those are like legitimate improvements over the original game, but neither of them are enough to justify a $60 from the ground up remake, especially when you have Jess's hair continuing to flip the fuck out in every single shot. Yeah. Nothing dangerous. By the way, I've been calling them, like, I've been calling them moose. It's possible they might just be deer. I think I've been using those names interchangeably. I honestly not entirely sure one way or the other. I think they are deer that we encounter on the cliff a little later with Matt and Emily. That's what the danger totem was trying to warn us about. This is a really kind of funny scene. I remember that being kind of funny.
Everything you described, Michael.
Wait, what?
The cabin. I love it.
Yeah.
Give me mask. It's a clue, but it's also an opportunity for a scare. Not a good idea to, nah. I might have chosen to scare her if I didn't know that she was currently kneeling over the river. And like, if you're Mike here and you get out and you decide you're gonna scare Jessica with the mask, sure, okay, I'm on board with that idea. She did scare you for no reason. It's a nice revenge. Until you get out here and you see that she's like leering over the river, at which point you should then conclude, oh, maybe I shouldn't jump scare her in case I startle her so badly that she falls into the river, which, spoiler alert, is exactly what happens. I think I did choose to do that on my first playthrough and immediately faced the consequences for it because, well, she fell into the river. But I don't think that's entirely my fault because I was not aware that Jessica was flirting with the goddamn river, and had I known that, I wouldn't have done it. But it's alright. Point being, don't do cheap jump scares, I guess. Don't do things that could lead to someone falling into a freezing river. Just generally a nice thing to do.
Not sure I want to know.
I think we're coming up on a nice moment of character for Mike. This right here.
Damn.
It's horrible.
Gee, I don't think he's gonna make it.
So technically the merciful thing to do here is to kill it to put it out of its misery, but I'm gonna comfort it, and I'll tell you why afterwards.
Hey, buddy.
God, the poor thing.
It's okay. It's okay.
Mike, it's in so much pain.
It'll be over soon. Okay, buddy. It'll be over soon.
Run!
Oh my God, what the hell was that?
I don't know!
Oh, there's a bridge! Over here, over! Mike, get over here!
Wrist shortcut, yeah. I don't think you can fail this. I think you still make it even if you just follow the path, but, you know. I like me some quick time events, I suppose. I mean, most of the time I don't, but this is one of the few games where I actually think they work. Also, Jess's running animation looked real fucking jank there. I don't know. I can't tell if it's just Jess and her mod. No, because Mike looked a little weird there too. He looked like a Looney Tunes character, like. I think it is just, in general, the animation of this game is very, very jank.
Close. What?
Had it under control. Whole time.
Bullshit.
No, 100%. 100%. 110.
Holy crap, I feel like I just ran a marathon.
I think we kind of did.
Was it a bear?
Yeah. Gotta be. Things are crazy fast.
I mean, I didn't see it.
Hey, things are not gonna come barging in, I promise.
How can you be sure?
'Cause I'm pretty sure bears don't know how to open cabin doors.
I've seen them.
Yeah,
open
but
car
about the
doors.
windows. You see those things that are
On the
with the
internet.
glass? Those are called windows.
Okay, well, this isn't the internet, Jess. Right? This is real life. And I promise you that no bear or anything else is gonna open that cabin door.
I guess you're right. Okay. I'm almost feeling relaxed again. Almost. Huh. Typical. Urgh. This is not the cozy chalet I was promised, Mike.
Yeah, it's a bit drafty or something, right?
Well, there is a fireplace.
Wow. We don't need a fire to heat things up.
Michael, I am a lady, and a lady needs a proper romantic setting.
Okay.
A lady would like to cuddle up with her man by a nice cozy fire bathed in atmospheric mood lighting.
Right. It'll get plenty toasty once we're rubbing up against each other.
Mike,
Yeah.
fire and mood lighting.
Yes, milady.
I think Mike's line there might have triggered a little bit early, but it's all right. Okay. So first things first, there's a clue over here. Not gonna read it because it's a lot to go over. So we'll be here for a while if I read through all of it. And also, I'd like to give you guys a little bit of motivation to go out and play the game yourselves. Not this. No. Don't buy this. Don't fucking buy this. But the original game, which you can get for a hell of a lot cheaper than the remake, I want to encourage you guys to go check it out for yourselves and play it and read all the clues yourself. And I think these are the only 2 clues we can get in here, so I'm gonna grab these real quick. And then we'll get to work appeasing Jess with her stupid fire. Yeah, I know. I need to get the match over here. Oh no, alright. Because, yeah, her phone, her stupid fucking phone.
Mike!
What?
Oh, crap.
What?
Where is it?
What? What's wrong?
Gone. It is gone.
When in doubt, it's always a
What
phone.
is gone?
My freaking
If someone
Sherlock
freaks out like that, it's their phone.
No. I must have dropped it outside.
Oh. Shit.
I can't lose my phone. My parents will kill me.
You can always get a new one.
That's like my 4th one this year.
Yeah, maybe after the 4th one, you stop giving the child the new phone. Maybe stop giving the clearly irresponsible child a new $700 smartphone.
Or whatever it is.
Or whatever however expensive the
Fine.
particular model that you get is. And I was going over the matches over here. See, you better not complain about me not getting your fire started fast enough, because I was en route to doing exactly that, and then you distracted me with your stupid phone bullshit. So this ain't on me anymore. This is not on me.
This'll take care of the mood lighting.
Will it? I think I might be superseded by the fire that we're about to start. And now for the good old-fashioned touchpad trick.
Man one.
I'm right. Bitch, get off the chair and do it yourself.
Bravo.
If you hate the way I'm doing it so much.
All right, my lady. What comes next?
I think. Well, I wish we had some booze.
Oh my god.
Well.
Remember the thing I said about how you can't complain anymore if I'm not fast enough for you when you distracted me? Ah! Pain. I hate. Jess gets on my nerves so goddamn much. It's actually insane. Well, so Mike, you gotta calm down, buddy. What are you doing? Are you okay? What are you looking at? Why are you, can you not just look at, it's fine.
Am I doing something wrong?
No. I mean, I thought you were one way, but you're kinda another way. If that makes sense, it's not your fault.
You're damn right.
Yes?
It's yours. You wanna know why? Because I was getting your stupid fire, and then you're like, oh my god, where's my phone?
Just give me a chance, and I will show you what you need.
Well, I am liking your confidence. Mike, the shutters.
What about them?
Close them, please?
There's just no one out there.
You are very
I feel like
needy.
someone's watching us. I
That's-
don't like it.
That's because someone is.
Yes, really. It's fine.
It's not, though.
I
She's actually right this time.
don't like it.
I know, it's a rarity, but like, once in a blue moon, Jess is accidentally right about something. I honestly think Jess is way worse than Emily. Because, like, Emily is at least entertaining. Oh my god, I forgot about... I forgot they Dutch angle the shot of Mike going to close the shutters for some stupid reason. Like, Emily's really entertaining and does prove herself to be quite resourceful and competent and capable towards the end of the game. I cannot say the same for Jess. Granted, that's partially because the writers don't give her much to do, but like,
I think I'm a
man.
little freaked out, and it's hard for me to like keep this up. And
What? Keep what up?
look, I act all super confident and like a total sexy babe and everything, but underneath, I gotta be honest, I'm really kind of insecure.
Jess. You've got to be kidding me.
What?
You have nothing to be insecure about.
Oh, you have no idea.
Sure I do. You're just like me and everyone else. We're all insecure. But you know how to handle yourself. You might call it a front, but it's real.
Yeah, I guess I do.
It would be easier for me to take this scene seriously if your hair wasn't freaking out again.
Really?
Yeah, hell yeah it is.
Come here. Maybe I know how to handle you too.
I am definitely ready to be handled.
Oh yeah, I guess I never explained why the deer scene was important for Mike's character. Okay, so I think this is a good time for me to bring it up because it's kind of right in the middle of Mike and Jess, like kind of opening up to each other about their insecurities. So Mike is a character who has a very, very obvious persona that he puts on and that people kind of expect of him, right? They expect him to be the super stereotypical jock-like character. He's like, yeah, man, it's all cool. We're all chill, bro. What's up? Totally radical, bro. And that's kind of who you expect Mike to be. But that scene with the deer where he gets down on his knees and he really comforts he does like a surprisingly good job of being super down to earth, super reasonable, super emotionally sensitive, and even though the deer may not, like, understand exactly what he's saying, because, you know, it's a fucking deer, you, as the player, can still sense that he's trying to be understanding, and I think just the natural way, the gentle way in which he handled the deer, I think, still comes across to you, and, like, that's, it's important for showing that there's more to Mike's character than just that persona he puts on. There's more beneath the surface, and it's important to set that up early, because as we get towards the end of the game, it kind of becomes apparent that Mike and Sam are sort of, they're the two characters who can survive the longest, they're the ones who can go the furthest into the game without ever encountering a situation where they could die. For Sam, there's the reason why is because she doesn't do much for the first half of the game. She's taking a bath. And for Mike, it's because of the thing I mentioned earlier about how Hannah is the Wendigo, and because Hannah is so obsessed with Mike, Hannah will never ever lay harm to Mike. So there's reasons why they're happening, and because those two have those narrative justifications for why they aren't in danger, and because they last the longest, they end up kind of becoming the buddy hero duo of the game, with the ones who, like, at the end of the game, in the big final confrontation in the cabin, the lives of all the characters boil down to Sam and Mike. They are the heroes who determine who gets out of the lodge in one piece. Because literally all the characters, no matter how hard you try to keep them alive, they can all get wiped out in seconds if you make the wrong decisions in those final, like, 5 minutes of the game. But because Mike will enter that role where he has so many people's lives in his hands, it's important to establish early that he does have this softer side to him. And that scene with the deer, combined with the scene that we just watched with Jessica, are important. It's nice to set that up early for what's going on with Mike. And it pairs up nicely with Jessica because while Jessica may suck, and she sucks really badly, she makes for a really good pairing with Mike, because they're both characters who have this sort of outward persona of confidence, this aura of just like, no one can mess with me, I'm all that kind of thing going on for them. But when you peel back that layer and you get a sense of what's going on under the hood, there's a lot more insecurity there, and that's what Jess was opening up to Mike about. And Mike, as the caring soul he is, understands even though you have the option to be an asshole and be like, sounds pretty complicated, and just dismiss her entirely, he does understand what she's talking about. He does understand what she's going through. So even though I don't like Jess really at all, it makes complete sense why these two like each other so much. And while Jess may just be the worst, I do believe wholeheartedly that her love and affection for Mike is genuine, and it helped. Because I think a lot of it is just because she knows that Mike loves her for more than just her body, which is something that she might be too disturbingly used to people only being like, hey, this girl's hot, let's go out with her, rather than caring for what's going on beneath the surface. And yeah, that's a nice element of the characterization that doesn't often get talked about, because Jess is after this scene, Jess stops being important to the story. Much like Matt, they don't really know what to do with her, so it's just scrounging as many bits of characterization as we can out of these early scenes for her.
How is it my phone?
I don't know, it just came through the window.
Oh, for fuck's sake, god damn it!
What?
Those goddamn assholes probably followed us out here to fuck with us, and just when we were getting down to business.
And now Jess does the absolute stupidest thing. Let's walk out into the storm wearing barely anything and taunt them. Yeah, yep. Big brain plays from Jess.
What the fuck are you trying to do? You want to ruin our fun that bad? Well, guess what? You can't.
By the way, I think Jess's the distortion effects that were put on her voice in the original made this seem a lot more impactful.
You can't ruin our good time, because Michael and I are gonna fuck. That's right, we are going to have sex, and it's gonna be hot.
You can't ruin our good time, because Michael and I are gonna fuck. That's right, we are going to have sex.
Whereas here it's accomplishing like the exact opposite effect. Whereas in the original it was supposed to be like you're through the eyes of the Wendigo, and so Jess's screams sound distorted but still impactful, whereas here they just sound muffled. Oh, this right here. Oh my god, this is so fucking funny. This right here. Ready? Watch this. As if Jess's model wasn't jank enough, the fucking camera, and this right here. I wasn't sure if that was gonna be as funny the second time, but it might actually be even funnier. That was,
Do you really
she
think
just,
the girls were...
so, it's funny enough that the camera is going like, and zooming in and out constantly for no reason instead of the steady pan up to Jess's face that it was in the original. But it gets even better because then she actually gets yeeted through the door, and she got yeeted through the door in the original game as well. But she didn't, it legit looked like she just like bent the laws of physics to zip across time and space away from the window. I don't know how to describe, it's like she got slingshotted out the window, but then also shrunk into it's like she got sucked into an invisible black hole that just contorted her body away from the cabin. It looked so strange. And it might have looked similar to that in the original, but they masked it because you didn't actually get to see her, like, you saw her get pulled through the window, but you didn't get a better glimpse of the outside world. There, they very clearly showed Jess's body going outside. And it's like, maybe there's a reason, guys, why they framed the scenes in the way that they did. To prevent shit like that from being visible to the player. I don't know. Just a thought.
Communicating with us?
I don't know. I don't know if I wish they were or if I wish they weren't.
I guess we should find out.
Anyway, now we're playing as Chris and Ashley. We're playing as Ashley right now. We're gonna play as Chris in a second. And I like this. I like this section because Chris and Ashley, I think, are my two favorite characters in the game. I wouldn't say they're the best, like the best, as far as who's best written overall, I think the best written character is gotta be Josh, hands down. I think Josh is easily the best.
Josh looked really freaked out at the seance.
Yeah, I mean, he...
Am I going crazy or did they loop that line? Didn't she say that when I was looking at the glasses case? And then she said it again when I was... Alright.
Looked like he was keeping it together, but...
Do you think we shouldn't have mentioned his sisters?
I mean, it's why we came back up here.
Yeah, but not to, like, have a seance. Maybe we went too far.
Alright, totem right here. That's the one of the benefits of having already experienced this chapter once is that I know where all the totems are. So I don't need to waste time scrounging around trying to find it. Or trying to find them. Doggo! Cute little doggo. Yeah, Chris and Ashley, I think, even though they're not the best written characters, I think that honor handily goes to Josh. I think, regardless of writing quality, not to say that Chris and Ashley are badly written characters, just that they are, there are other characters that get more attention to them. And in fact, I should even go to say, Ashley, especially, I think is one of the most underrated characters because she has some really interesting moments later on in the game that it seems, if you've played the game before, you probably know what I'm referring to here. But there's one moment later with Ashley where she gives off two different vibes. She outwardly says one thing to Chris that seems to imply one set of moral standards, but then after that scene, she does something else that's at odds with what she said previously. And I think that adds, like, even though it seems like a contradiction, I would say that it actually just adds a lot of depth to Ashley's character and shows that there's more intricacies to her thought process and how she emotionally responds to situations. I know I'm being very inconsistent with whether I choose to spoil things or whether I choose not to spoil things, but I'm trying to strike a balance so that you have enough context. You have enough context to understand what I'm talking about when I'm praising an element of the game. But since we aren't at that moment I want to praise yet, I want to give you guys a little teaser for those of you who haven't played this game yet. Which, what are you doing here? Go play the game. Not this. Go play the original game. And then come back here. And we'll talk about how shit the remake is together. I really like these two a lot. Ashley, I would defend strongly from a perspective of writing, because there's a lot of things about her that I think get overlooked, like what I just mentioned. But even Chris and his relationship, like Chris's character is largely centered around his relationship with Josh, and how he responds and how he treats Josh, even after he discovers all the horrible things that he has gotten himself into, and like how he's been treating them, and with this whole psycho game kind of thing. So I would absolutely defend them from a perspective of writing quality. But the reason I like them so much is just because I like them. I like their personalities. I like them together. I was really rooting hardcore for these two when I first played the game. I was really rooting for them. I liked the way they bounced off each other. I liked the chemistry they had. I think they're really cute together. And Chris especially. Chris is my man. Chris, I saw a lot of myself in Chris and the way he reacts to situations, the way he talks. So yeah, I was a big fan of these two. And I like that they get a little time to themselves in the scene, because they often get overlooked in favor of characters like Josh or like Sam. So I like any moment these two have to just go on a little adventure together and search the cabin for clues and try to uncover the mystery of what's happening to everybody here. So yeah, big fan of for any Chris and Ashley scenes that they get together.
Whoa, panel opens, head explodes.
Are we like in a movie right now?
If we are, I hope it's a rom-com.
Leave it to the Washingtons to have secret passages in their house?
I mean, maybe they didn't even know this place is super old.
So, should we take a look?
After you.
No, you go.
Gee, thanks.
Well, I don't want to make it sound like all that Chris has is how he and Josh get along and their relationship as it evolves with the course of the game. Chris also does have moments to himself where I'm like, oh, that tells me, it's little things, right? It's little moments that tell me a lot about about his character. Excuse me, can I not go over to the, thank you. Little things that tell me a lot about his character, even though he's not actually doing all that much, and as usual, I will be sure to mention all those moments as we get to them.
What did you find?
I will take them and bleed them like pigs and rip their soft white skin off. Fucking 16 years. 16 years I waited for pretty little Hannah and Beth.
Holy cow.
Okay, you can't be like, oh, nope, nothing going on here. Nope, nothing to see here. You can't do that seconds after going, holy cow. It's like, that's not how that works.
And now, Ash, I don't want to freak you out, but look at this.
What? Chris, what is that?
I think this might be what the spirit board wanted us to find.
The clue?
Yeah, it's a letter.
Let me see it.
It's a threat.
Chris, this is serious. We need to find Josh right now.
Oh, and they totally screwed this up, by the way. This right here.
What was that?
So in the original, the way this worked was that because the camera wasn't fixated, it wasn't permanently fixated behind the characters and over their shoulder, they were able to stage the camera like right here-ish, so that as Chris came around that corner, you would see this door open. But in this remake, because of the camera, you don't get that, because you can't, like, the camera's always here. So when you walk through this door and you hear the door open, you're like, what door open? You can't, from this angle, you cannot see. Like, the whole idea of having that moment where a door opens by itself is that you're supposed to see it. You're supposed to react to it. You're supposed to be within the range of the door when it opens. Whereas here, not only can you not see where the door is, you have no idea where the sound even came from, but you don't even know, like, you probably didn't even see the door on your way in, so it doesn't really have the same effect as it did in the original, where they made sure you actually saw exactly what was happening.
Actually, after Hannah and Beth?
If so, that would be really messed up.
Like seeing the door, physically seeing the door open by itself is a huge part of why that works, and they don't have that here. Thank you for your response. It's good to know that the tribe still feel an attachment to the land here, even if we have a few unfortunate problems, graffiti, people sleeping in the outbuildings. This is their ancestral home, after all. I have made contact with the descendants of the tribe and intend to make a donation to their elder council. Healing the wounds of the past won't be easy, but I feel it's a step that is necessary. Yours sincerely, Melinda Washington. On reverse, saw that crazy guy again. Thursday, 9:17 p.m.
Josh's mom.
Yeah, she's really making an effort to set things right with some native tribe or something.
Yep, the bad karma goes back a long way.
Yeah, I guess that's one way you could put it. Me personally, I'd phrase it slightly differently. I'd say she's trying to pay them off. I'd say she's trying to appease them. I don't know her personally, but from just reading this letter, I kind of get the vibe that she's, I don't get a very genuine vibe from this letter. That's just me personally, though. That's just me. That's just me. Anyway, let's head on through the door if I can. Thank you.
So, I've just been thinking about something I saw earlier with Sam.
What?
There was like this wanted poster, like full-on Western style, you know?
So?
And Sam really thought there was someone following her around.
So what you're saying, there's some criminal up on the mountain with us?
There was a message on this answering machine I found, and it was from this sergeant saying that there was this guy who had just gotten out of prison and there was nothing he could do.
What do you mean?
He was saying it like a warning. I mean...
It's definitely not just Jess. All the characters, like Chris right there,
What?
turned very awkwardly.
Library.
And right there, he stuttered again. There is...
Wait, what?
There, on a foundational level, there is something wrong with the way this game's characters are animated.
Burning the whole place down.
Or the way they're rigged, or something. There's something wrong on a very base level with the animation of this game. It looks off. Everything just looks off.
You hear that?
That was Josh!
Coming from the kitchen.
Josh!
Josh! We're coming! Hold on! Ashley! Ash, what's going on? Let me in! Ashley! Are you okay?
That doesn't look... I missed that the first time I recorded this. That Chris body checking himself into the door and going like, yup, that didn't look natural at all. That looked very choppy. It's been 9 years. Technology has come such a long way since 2015, and yet somehow it just all looks worse. It all looks worse. Ah, here we are. Here's the setup to the bath storyline I was telling you about earlier. Josh is preparing his torture for Sam while she's lounging in the bath. And that's chapter 3.
I'm going to show you some pictures of people that you have come to know, like. But maybe you don't like them as much as you pretend to. Well, this is an exercise in honesty. Tell me which person from each pair you like the most. Take your time, your answers are important.
Alright, so. Oh, I actually legit forgot about this. I actually legitimately forgot about this part of the chapter when I recorded this last. The pictures here, the drawings of the characters look horrible. Like, genuinely, they look hideous here. They were such beautiful renditions of the characters in the original game. They just look hideous here. I think I remember liking some of the drawings. I think Ashley's might have looked okay. But like, Sam, what did they do to you, Sam? What did they do to my girl, Sam? I mean, Josh isn't looking that much better, but like, goddamn, man. I don't know what hack they hired to draw these. Anyway, okay, so there's two ways we can go about this. We can either play the game of which character is better written, or which character do I like more. And because the game is specifically saying which do you prefer, I think I'm just going to go over personal preference rather than trying to assess which character is better written than the other. Although, if you're curious, the answer is Josh. Josh is definitely the much more well-rounded character overall than Sam. But I prefer Sam. Also, if I remember correctly, I think if you... Because at the end of this, he's going to ask which of these characters do you dislike the most. I think if you pick Josh, it unlocks additional dialogue in one of the future therapy sessions. And I don't think it's, like, that rare, because I feel like most, if not all, people who I've seen play through this game conclude that Josh is the one they like the least. And I think that's by design, honestly, because, for one, you don't play as Josh. Josh is the one character who, outside of these therapy sessions, as far as the player's aware, by this point, they've never played as Josh. Not even once. He's the only character. You do play as him eventually outside of the therapy sessions, but up to this point and for most of the game, you never play as him. So that already creates a pretty big disconnect, as he's the one character who the player has never actually taken in control of their own hands up until this point. But also, again, it's really not supposed to be a surprise. I mean, it's treated as a surprise, and technically it is a twist, but I think the developers are aware of the fact that it's pretty abundantly obvious that Josh is the psycho here, because he's not the big twist, right? The big twists come in with Hannah and the Wendigo, and what Josh is, like, the reasons why Josh is doing all the things that he's doing, so they're not really trying to hide that fact. So I think it's pretty common for people to say that they like Josh the least. Probably because they want you to get those extra dialogue options in future therapy sessions. Assuming I'm remembering this correctly at all, and that this actually does lead to those extra options. So I'm going to answer as honestly as I can, but I do think I want to ultimately conclude that Josh is the one that I like the least, so I can get those extra options later. Okay. Who do I prefer? So this one's easy, because I both genuinely prefer Emily to Matt, because Matt sucks, and also Emily is way better written, because Matt gets fucking nothing to do in this game. So this is easy mode. Also, Matt's drawing looks fine. I really didn't like Sam and Josh's, but Matt's is fine. Emily, I guess, is alright too. Okay, never mind. Maybe it was just the first two that I really didn't like. I really didn't like Sam's profile pic there, but the rest of these have been fine. Ashley's is cool. Chris, the face is a little like the actual facial expressions, but the drawing itself is cool. Now, this one I remember. This one's tough to answer because I like them both so much. I think Ashley is the better written character, because I do genuinely believe she has one of the most interesting moments to talk about in the entire game. But I'm gonna lean slightly towards Chris, because I saw more of myself in Chris when I played this for the first time, and even still to this day. But I love them both. I love them both dearly. But I'm gonna lean slightly in favor of Chris. Also, I think it would be in character for Josh to answer Chris, because of course Josh is Chris's best friend. So if the idea here is that we're playing as Josh, because I believe that is the reason, by the way, why it unlocks those future dialogue options, because that is key to Josh's character, that he hates himself most of all, that he blames himself for he blames himself for not being there to help his sisters and to protect them. Even though he couldn't do anything, he was passed out drunk. That's what he is beating himself up over. The fact that he was getting drunk with Chris and he passed out and he wasn't there to save them. That I think is consistent with Josh's character. All right, so this should be another easy one. Mike is... I obviously prefer Mike to Jessica, like, by a considerable margin. And I think it would even be I think on all accounts, we should pick Mike here. Because I prefer Mike to Jessica. Mike's better written than Jessica. Well, yeah, no, Mike's better. Well, as far as like character consistency is concerned, I think they're probably about equal. The problem is that Jessica just doesn't get anything to do. Like like I said, for the rest of the game, she's gone. She's done. Her usefulness, even if she survives chapter 4, which she will, because it's very, very easy to keep her alive, her usefulness to the story is completely exhausted. And going off of what I was talking about in the last episode about how Josh has kind of inherited Hannah's adoration of Mike, I think he would also pick Mike in this situation. But because I'm curious, I think I am gonna pick Jessica because I'm curious if that actually, I don't know if I've ever tested this before, as to like how these options, if these options impact anything. I'm genuinely not sure, actually, if they do. I don't, because the other, like, answering the questions of, like, what are you scared of? Are you scared of snakes or spiders or gore? It will change some types of jump scares you get, and it will change what appears in Dr. Hill's office. I'm not sure if this changes anything, but I kind of want to see what happens if I pick an option that Josh obviously wouldn't pick. So we'll go with Jessica. Have to pick Matt because it's not Josh. We need Josh to be in last for this to work. Ashley, I would have said that anyway.
So tell me, in this little game you're playing so diligently, who is it that you most dislike?
The answer is, of course, Josh.
Full of surprises. I think I'm beginning to understand you far better now. Oh, I'm afraid. Once again, we're out of time. Don't be too hard on Joshua. He's been through so much. But you know that already, don't you?
And like that's them just fucking waving the flag as loudly and obnoxiously as they can. Hey! You're playing as Josh, in case you didn't figure it out. You already know what Josh has been through, don't you? Alright, well, we'll leave things there for now. My feelings on this remake have not changed at all, except for the Hunger Totems are genuinely a very good addition. Assuming they continue to be what I think they are, that is legit a very, very inspired change that they've made, and I'm a big fan of it. But it's just, it's like I keep saying, it's the same story, mostly. It's the same scenes, mostly. It's just the way they're presented, the way the camera shows things, the way the characters are animated. It all feels amateurish, it feels unpolished, and it just makes it a lot harder to get invested when the presentation isn't there. Because presentation is a big part of how a story is. It's like the story itself is still just as well written as it was originally, except for the prologue being all wibbly wobbly. But while it is of course important to have that solid script that has all the characters fleshed out and has all the stakes established and has everything making sense, when you have a visual medium, it's important that story is visually communicated to the audience or the player in as dynamic and engaging in a way as possible, and also in a way that doesn't make your otherwise serious life or death story unintentionally really, really funny, which unfortunately has been the case for a lot of this game so far. But we're all caught up now. We're caught up to where I was before my recording went kaput, and now we're ready to dive into chapter 4. And I'm trying to remember what happens in chapter 4. Obviously, it's gonna be us chasing down Jessica. And I think chapter 4 is a pretty heavily Mike-focused section. I think chapter 4 and 5. I don't think we go. There's a place we go to. I don't think we go to that place until chapter 5. But I do think that most of chapter, or at least a good chunk of chapter 4, is Mike-focused. Ooh, is chapter 4 the one where we chapter 4 might be the one where we go full-on Saw mode with some of the characters. Could be interesting. I actually genuinely don't remember Like, I know the story, I know all the story beats, but as to in which chapter each thing happens, that I don't have quite committed to memory. So it'll be fun. It'll be exciting seeing how things progress. All right. Oh, one more thing. This right here, the dialogue history, the chat log, that's a good. I don't think it's as necessary for a game like this where the dialogue is visually like it has actual voice recordings and voice actors in to present. I don't think it's as necessary here as something like Ace Attorney, where you can skip to the text really quickly. Or, I mean, it's especially important for Ace Attorney because you're supposed to be able to solve mysteries and put pieces of the puzzle together. And if you accidentally miss information that's critical for that, you're kind of out of luck. So I think it's more important there than it is here, but it's still a nice feature to have nonetheless. Anyway, that'll be it for now. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for next time. And hope to catch you all tomorrow with some more Until Dawn Remake. Goodbye.